Cities are rapidly growing. By 2050, it's estimated that up to 2/3 of humanity will live in cities. This growth occurs alongside the expansion of the private sector, and cities worldwide are seeing an increase in demand for a highly skilled workforce and a decrease in availability for lower-skilled jobs.
And this is changing the landscape of American jobs drastically and at a pace, perhaps an unprecedented pace. The mix of what we need in this economy, this next decade or two, is going to be a skill set around data analytics, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. Those jobs are going to be in extremely high demand. They are today, and we can't fill them.
All the great cities, frankly, are dealing with this issue, and they have to do two things. They have to succeed to attract the high-level talent in order to meet the business demand that is there, because if they don't, the businesses leave and the cities fall by the wayside. But the second thing they have to do is they have to deal with their indigenous population, the people who've been living there for a long time, who don't necessarily have the talent and skills to fill those kinds of jobs, and find ways to make those part of the economic opportunity. And that's what inclusive growth is about. It's about figuring out how do you take the benefit that has come from economic opportunity of businesses moving in the city with the talent pool that is there, to spread that out to a larger part of the community.
Local government on its own can't tackle all the elements that make a city inclusive. The private sector must weave corporate citizenship into the bottom line.
What private sector and public sector need to do is team up to, in fact, deliver the training to take today's workforce and to not just say, okay, that generation is lost. No. We have to retrain. Focusing on the people who could be left behind. That is a swath of talent.
Human capital is ultimately malleable. It's something that we need to invest in and stop thinking of it as a commodity and think of it more as a diamond in the rough. With a little investment and polish, you can get sparkle and people to sparkle and shine. We need to see these lower wage populations, one, have their skills enhanced either directly through training or their skills enhanced by the pairing of their skills with technology.
What we see today is that in too many places, people have to spend too much time on the road or on a public transportation system to get to and from the job, and therefore are failing in other responsibilities that they have, whether it's taking care of their family, doing that extra education part, or having another economic opportunity.
And it really is important not only for low-wage workers to be able to get to work in an affordable way without a car, but also to efficiently get to work. In cities with long wait times, hours of commute times, that's a loss in productivity and a loss to the bottom line.
If you look at a place like San Francisco, which is probably the most obvious place in which the high-tech talent that wanted to live in a city drove up housing prices to an extent that it basically made it unaffordable for the people who had long lived in the city to live there, either to pay the rent, let alone to buy a house.
You don't have people who can even afford to do the low-wage jobs in the economy, and you also can't have them move up or rung later on. And it's not just densely populated, affordable housing. It's really looking at it as a road to home ownership in lower-income households.
As we transition to the new economy, the actions, or lack thereof, of cities and leading companies will impact the success of cities and their populations for years to come.
The city has a responsibility to make sure that not only those who are at the top succeed, but that includes the growth of everyone. Because if you don't include them, you're going to have problems.
We've already seen what happens to cities that are less inclusive. They're in rural areas and they're literally dying. People are leaving those areas when they can, and those who are staying have compounding in a vicious cycle of poverty.
Not all cities are going to be able to pull this off. Some will be winners, and some will get it half right, and some will, in fact, lose.